So I just finished my trail around Millersylvania. It's a very short trail and I only had a couple hours and I was making a lot of stops. So I took a very kind of quick route. I probably would have explored more if I had more time, but I have another thing that I have to do. I'm thinking a fair percentage of my subscribers are really good at mushroom IDing. So I'm gonna try this. I'm just gonna number the mushrooms that I found, and if you can ID them, put the number and then what you know or think it is in the comments, and then people can go there to learn. That's the lazy man's way of mushroom IDing. We'll see how many people partake in this challenge to ID the mushrooms in the video. If I don't get a lot of takers on this challenge, I probably won't post a video like this again until perhaps the number of subscribers quadruples or something. There are two that I know are Boletes. It's a beautiful day, scary close up, woo! And here is the beautiful lake. How about this for a prospect refuge spot? Let's see, that is where I entered into the old growth area. And right down here, I right away started seeing these guys. So when you turn those over, it is unmistakable that this is a bolete. Typically when you see these, you can see a bunch of them. So this is the first one that I saw, and it's already got some mold growing on it. And then there is this fat one right here. It's already almost come off. I just tore it there. And there's that also distinct red coloring. So these are very mature, and so I would expect at this stage for it to have wormies or something inside. There's certainly, you can see there's things that have been crawling inside it, and if it's not full of worms now, it's full of eggs now, and these will turn into worms. These little mushrooms are what I saw in the other parts of this park. These little white guys, I don't know what they are, and I'm not gonna bother IDing them. Also a bunch of the LBMs, so those are everywhere. So when you see something like this, very mature, then you think, okay, next year I'm gonna come back earlier when they're a little bit fresher. You see also it's staining blue. That's also very bolete-ish. Here is my famous mushroom book. So there's the blue that you can see, the staining, it stains blue. Right, and so here's the staining at the polypore level. And then here's the red, right? So we got the red coloring. See, here's some with like really thick stipes on this one. Now this is the famous one. Boletes crescenteron. What makes me think it's this one is this, you know, the stipe is thin and it has this, it's cracked cap. The stipe is variable in color, often with yellow at the apex, but reddish elsewhere. So, and that's what we see here. So here's the yellow here, and it's red down here. When you take a mushroom class, you'll learn that, you know, as long as you're not eating gilled mushrooms, you know, it's a good chance that the mushroom's not poisonous. So this is why this is like a mushroom that you'll learn first in a class. It's something that you should go ahead and venture out to find and eat, because there's not going to be many, if any, poisonous lookalikes like you have with the gilled mushrooms. This one I found growing on some fallen logs. It's very tough. Very, very tough. And you can see the underside right there. And I don't know if it's brown because it's overly mature or if it's just a brown mushroom. So here's another one. Very interesting, tough polypore. And also, here's one that I found in this spot. This one has gills. It is yellow tinted and it's got a brown cap. And here's one still in the ground and it's younger. This looks like an inky thing, doesn't it? Maybe this bulb is supposed to help with the ID. It's already cracking. Wow. Totally different bolete. And these look edible. So I think I parked here. I walked here, entered the trail here, up here. If I had more time, I would have done the perimeter trail. I cut through, and here was that old growth area. And now I've come to here. So I am just about to head back and I will take some shots of this lake. I am cooking this with butter and garlic. Here are the stem butts, and this is the one that I'm not eating. We're gonna watch this one turn into goo overnight. And there's already a worm coming out of it. So I thought these were not bruising blue, but they are bruising blue at the base. And they're already starting to turn mushy, so I am cooking them ASAP. If you're ever concerned about harvesting a bolete lookalike, apparently the lookalikes are tough and they are not putrescent. So what's a fun thing to do, and because I'm weird, I did it for you guys, is to keep your mushroom overnight. I'll just read from here. Putrescent means that a bolete left sitting out at room temperature overnight or longer will turn into an odorous mass of mush and fluid, seemingly alive with wriggling, feasting worms, the larvae of small flies that lay their eggs in the mushroom. So do not leave your bolete sitting on the kitchen counter when you go to bed. And yes, I've had that experience before. And this is why you're probably going to be eating eggs when you find a bolete and you eat it. So this is it liquefying. This is the one that was the cracked cap that I didn't want to eat. Here are the wormies. This is gonna be gross. You see the guy crawling around in there. This is not the best camera for this. So this isn't overnight, this is the second night. It spent the night at my house. And there you go, you see the little wormies, and it's turning into a mush. This is why you can't find them in the stores. You gotta eat them or dehydrate them right away. So one interesting point I also wanted to mention about this mushroom is that I read that the king bolete is really good for your colon. Super high in fiber, chitin obviously, so you want to make sure you cook it. But what I experienced that's different from other mushrooms, and I don't think this was the king bolete because the stem wasn't thick enough, but it's in the same family, I'm guessing. So the diet that I try to follow, I cheat sometimes, but I think is closest to the perfect diet is the Gundry diet, or like the lectin-free diet. And one thing that Gundry says is like the perfect stool is the one where you don't need toilet paper. And that is a sign of really healthy gut flora. Well, if you want to be on your way to healthy stool, I have not needed to, I've wiped, but I have not needed to wipe for past couple times. So one more thing, these are the stem butts of the ones that I ate. So yeah, I don't think these are thick enough to be king boletes. So anybody have a guess as to what I ate? Let me know. So it was a lot of mushroom for me to eat, so I shared some, and that person also confirmed that it did wonders for the stool.